And then when we go live, people can start to hang out, chat, do the cool stuff while we select some photos to edit. I like editing. Editing's fun. Come on, did you go live? Yes, that has gone live. Nice, cool. So I can see chat that side, see myself that side. Let's check if Facebook has popped the notification to say that I am live, because it does seem to forget to do that sometimes. Let's see. Hi Facebook, did you do a live post? Yay! Facebook did do a live post. Well, that is awesome. So that means we can start to have some fun. Fun. Hi, hope you guys are doing quite well this evening. I brought a little friend along, friend along to join us for the editing, because it's kind of quiet in my house, so why not? So this evening we'll be editing some photos, having some fun, just hanging out a little bit, as well as we will be going through some tips and tricks on Photoshop itself and how I like to use Photoshop to edit my black and white photos and get a nice little glow in my subject and things as such as well. So as always, you're more than welcome to pop your questions in the comments down below so I can give them an answer, see if I can help you and such, and then maybe I can help you guys learn something. Also, this is a manual focus lens, so that's kind of cool. I can throw myself out of focus. I got to love it. Yes. Anyway, so while we wait for one or two people to join, let me see if I can find a photo for us to edit. We will be editing one of the photos that I posted recently, so I've got the folder open here with me. There we go. Let's swap my screens over. There we go. So I got a whole bunch of photos from this little session, and we will be selecting one or two of them to play around with, I think. Just do a bit of editing and such. It's always fun doing editing. I like editing. It is very much fun, especially when you get to play around with shadows and things. I think let's edit this one. Yes, we're going to edit this one. Let's drag it over. So first things first, when we open up a photo in Photoshop, it's going to give us the camera raw window, which looks like this. Let me drag that over. There you go. Hi, camera raw window. So one of the first things I like to do when I edit, especially, is I like to correct things like white balance, exposure, and saturation before I actually start editing the photo itself. So this is the photo that we'll be working on first this evening. First things first, my white balance looks a bit off. Now I can see that due to the fact that the skin tones look a little bit too orange, as they say. So we can do one of two things to fix the white balance on this photo. Number one, we can use the little eyedropper tool. Does my zoom still work? Zoom. Why doesn't it work? Let me fix that real fast, because that's going to be annoying. Scripts. Hi, script. And we want to go to video capture, display capture, number 3. Save. There you go. So now I should be able to, there you go, zoom in so I can show you stuff. Nice. So first things first, we're going to go to our white balance, because white balance will help us. Let's just move the photo there, adjust things so it can go cooler or warmer, so we can get the correct white balance. First things first, I want to fix my white balance by going a little bit cooler so that my skin tones look a little bit more natural, like this, more or less. Looks fine. It also has a little eyedropper tool. So if you click the eyedropper tool, we can sample colors or highlights and shadows in our photo to correct our white balance. As an example, if I click on the background itself, it will resample the white balance from the background, which may or may not give us the correct one. I can just click on the skin tones, which should throw it out completely. But I like to use a fashion gray backdrop, so that means I can normally just sample from my backdrop, and it should be really close to being correct. It is a little bit too warm for me though, so I will make it a little bit more cooler, on the cool side. Now that's now fixed. No, go away, stupid thing. So that's now fixed our white balance. So the next thing from white balance is I now want to fix my exposure. It is a little bit dark, so we will raise the shadows on the right hand side a little bit up, so we can start to get a little bit more detail in the shadows, and maybe adjust the highlights as well. That's a bit too much. Just a little bit like that. There you go. That should be fine. Saturation, any adjustments I want to make? No. Saturation, I will basically mask out and edit myself because that just works a little bit easier for what I like to do. So there you go. Add a little bit of clarity for fun of it. Add a little bit of texture for fun of it. Open. Cool. So now we've made all of our base corrections to the photo, and we can now basically start working on it in Photoshop, which is nice. So is this photo sharp? No, it's not sharp, but it's a good photo to edit on, good photo to work with, good photo to play around with. So first things first, I want to fix the background for us. So we're going to come down to our layers, right click, duplicate layer. There you go, just so we have a layer to work on. And then I just want to double check my sharpness. How bad is it? Oh, that's not sharp at all, is it? I think let's close this one and grab a different photo. One that's actually sharp. Hi, you are not sharp. Are you sharp? Yes, you are nice and sharp. Cool. So we will instead close, grab this photo, move it over, because I like to work on sharp photo. There you go. Hi, sharp photo. Again, this was 5200 for our white balance correction, and then we're going to bring up the shadows a bit, bring up the highlights a little bit as well. There we go. That should be fine. Add a bit of texture, add a bit of clarity. Nah, not dehaze, clarity. There you go, just like that. Done. Just give us a little bit more leeway. And this one should be nice and sharp. Let's zoom in. Yes, this one is very nice and sharp. There you go, that's much better. I like sharp photos. Nice, cool. So first things first, whenever we want to edit and or work on a photo, we always want to create a duplicate of our layer, because it's nice that way. It allows us, if we do mess something up, we can go back to original layer and just double check things and such as well. So right click on background, select duplicate layer, give it a name. I'm just going to give it background copy. There you go, cool. So now we've got a background copy, which means we can now edit on this layer, and if we mess something up completely, we can still go back to the original to compare things and such as well. So let's first fix the background, if there is anything to fix on the background. Yes, there's a couple of weird little spots like those, so I like to use Photoshop's removal tool. Yes, go away. I'm gonna select that a little bit there, and that should clean it up nicely for us. Perfect. Any other background little spots we might want to do? There's one right there. There we go. That should make it blend a little bit better as well. And let's check in the top. The rest of the background looks fine. That looks cool. Very nice, very nice. Anything else that I might want to remove or such? There's a little blemish there that we might want to sort out on our subject. So what we'll do is we will grab the lasso tool, go away, not the lasso tool, the patch tool, because I do like using the patch tool. So with the patch tool selected, we can basically just select another area and grab it to a sample area, and Photoshop will then blend them together to give us a nice little thing. Now the reason I want to do this before I do any work on the skin tones is just that I want to make sure any large blemishes or such I remove, or little spots like these little sunspots, just to make it easier for when I do work on the skin tones, because then it should even out things a little bit better for me. There you go, that looks fine. Is there any hair that I might want to remove? Nah, I don't mind messy hair, it's quite fine. Anything on the skin tones themselves, there's a little spot there. There we go, that should be nice and easy. See, small things. Always the small things that just make things so nice, so nice and easy. Okay, let's just drop that volume a little bit. There we go. Bit more manageable for myself. Alright, cool. So let's now corrected all the things that I wanted to correct on the photo by just removing them and such. I also want to change the crop on this because I did shoot a bit wider, but I do want to recrop this so it fits better on Instagram. So Instagram crop is normally a 4:5. So we press C to open up the crop tool. In the top corner we're going to select 4:5, which will then give us a nice little block to work with. So this block, I'm just going to move it down, and there we, oh, that's a bit too much. There you go, just like that. Perfect. So now if we recropped to a 4:5 aspect ratio, which normally fits much better on Instagram as an example. So Instagram will not cut off random bits and stuff like that, which is very, freaking annoying when that happens. Okay, cool. So now we've removed all the things we wanted to remove, we've recropped the photo, and now we can start doing the fun stuff. We can start working on the photo itself. So things that I want to do is I want to add a bit more detail to the pants, as well as I just want to maybe increase the saturation on the clothing a little bit, and then we can start moving up to the facial features and things as such, and doing a bit of dodging and burning there as well. So first things first, we want to do work on the pants. So in our adjustment layers, we're going to create a new layer for brightness and contrast. That should be the easiest, and we want to rename it so we can find it easily and call it pants. Pants, there we go. So now if we change the brightness of this, we should be able to bring it up to a point where we can get more detail on the pants. So yes, it's currently affecting the entire photo, which is fine, but we will now invert the layer. First we select the layer, hold down Control on your keyboard, tap I to invert the layer. Now nothing is affected. To get things to apply the change for that layer, we're going to go to our brush, make sure it's a white brush, and wherever we paint, that effect will now be present. So we're going to go down to the pants, and we're just going to paint on the pants just so we can recover some detail from them, just like that. Yes, we did go over the lines, that's fine. I will fix that just now. There you go, cool. So to remove things from what we've now painted white, to apply the effect, we now need to remove the effect. So we need to do the inverse. Currently we have a white brush selected, but if we click here, we can change that to a black brush. So anything with a black brush we paint over will be removed from the mask. So that's perfect. So we're going to change the brush size, just remove that little white edge on it. There we go, perfect. And on the other side as well. There we go, looking good, perfect. And just there as well. There you go, cool. So that's now effectively just taken the pants. Oh, we've affected the skin tones at the top a little bit. There we go. So that's taken the pants and just added a little bit of light to them using a small adjustment layer. There we go, cool. Just so we can get a little bit more detail on the pants, because I like detail. Detail's nice, especially if it's too dark, then you kind of lose a bit too many details. Okay, so that's now fixed our pants for us, so that's cool. Next, I want to make a adjustment to the brightness of the clothing for the top, as well as a saturation adjustment to the top to just enhance the blues a bit. So first things first, we want to create a new adjustment layer. So we're going to go adjustment, go away, and we do want to increase the brightness on it. So we're going to go brightness, and we're going to call this top 1 for the brightness, and then we also want to create another adjustment, and we're going to call this one vibrancy, and we're going to rename it to top as well, top 2. So the 1 will be for our brightness on the top itself, and the second one will be for the color on the top itself. So how are we going to do this? Well, easy. We're first going to select top 1, which is our brightness, and we're going to add brightness to it, maybe a bit of contrast as well, just like that. Small adjustments. There you go. Now we need to just mask it out again, because we only want to affect the clothing. So we're going to select the mask, Control I to invert it, make sure you have a brush selected, make sure it's a white brush. So everywhere we paint now, that little adjustment to brightness will now be applied. There we go. We can readjust the brightness as we go along. That's why we add things to their own layers and name them, so that in the future, should we come back or should we want to adjust anything specific, we can simply select the adjustment in the layer and apply that adjustment layer and basically just tune it till things look fine. So now we want to do the same for the top. There we go, just decrease the brush size, perfect, and do the other side as well. There we go, perfect, just like that. There we go, cool. So that mask will now just affect the top, like that. We missed a spot at the bottom or top, so let's just paint that in with white as well. Because remember, if we do edit something, we want to make sure we edit every single bit of it, so we don't skip anything, so it doesn't look odd when we come back to it in the future. There we go, cool. So now if we make this really bright, we can get a nice glowing effect on it. We can also make it really dark. Yes, we did skip the very edge lines, just because if you brighten this up, then they blend a bit better, because you don't want to brighten all the clothing at once, because if we also brighten the edges, as an example, then things will start to look a little bit odd, to put it nicely. So I like to always just go inside the edges a little bit. So we're going to increase the brightness on it, maybe drop the contrast a bit, or increase the contrast like that. Perfect. Zoom out. There you go. So that's the top brightness. Apologies, adjusted correctly. Now the next one is we need to adjust the vibrancy. So there is a trick in Photoshop where you can duplicate a selection that you've already made to a new layer. I believe it was hold down Alt, drag it to the top. Yes, okay, cool. So if you have a mask on a layer and you want to duplicate something that you've already done onto that mask, you can simply go to that layer, hold down Alt on your keyboard, drag this mask to the top one. It's going to ask you, do you want to replace the mask? Yes we do. And now we've effectively remasked the shirt as well, without needing to redo the entire mask ourselves. Just saves us a bit of time. So now if you go vibrance all the way to the top, you can see that it's now affecting the shirt. You can also go saturation all the way to the top, which will also affect it quite nicely. So I want to add some saturation, as well as I want to add some vibrance to it, just to make that shirt pop a little bit. So that's brightness, that's color, brightness. Nice and easy. Perfect. We'll, in the future, as we continue editing, we will readjust these layers to basically correct things for us. So the next thing we want to do is jewelry, because masking out the jewelry can help us basically improve the quality of the jewelry themselves. So we're going to create another adjustment layer. We're going to go brightness and contrast again, because it just makes it nice and easy. We're going to rename it to accessories. Accessories. Yeah, my spelling is bad, I know. It's just one of those things. Cool. So this one will be our accessories adjustment. We're going to go to the layer of it, invert it so nothing is affected. We're also going to just increase the brightness on it, so that when we do paint on the mask with a white brush, then we can see whatever is being affected easily. There we go. So we're going to undo that, go down to our jewelry, zoom in a bit, and just grab the jewelry for white brush, because this way it will allow us to adjust the jewelry brightness to make it either fit or stand out a bit more, depending on what we want to do. There we go, just like that. Nice, easy and fast. The chain, yeah, we might as well do the chain as well since we're busy. There we go, and just get out the back side of it as well. I went over the line. No, let's just remove that bit where I went over the line. Yeah, there we go. Close enough. There's another spot. Go away. Cool. And the next, we want to also do the earrings. The side specifically, because I might want to brighten this up a little bit, so that I can make it pop a little bit more. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Cool. So it's a small change, not a big one, but that will allow us to see some cool changes. So if we now disable it, you can see that now that effect is gone. We can reapply it again, and now we can basically adjust the jewelry. So if we go back to our brightness, and we now reposition this so it's easier to see, and we basically take our brightness and we take it all the way down, we can now darken the jewelry or make it brighter. You can also remove contrast from it or add contrast to it to get different types of effects. So for the jewelry, what I want to do is just reset all of these values. I want to brighten it up a little bit and add some contrast just to make it pop ever so slightly. There we go. Now just pops. Much easier and better to do as well. Cool, there you go, perfect. So that's covered our accessories, our clothing as well. And now the next one is we need to look at the teeth and eyes and all those bits and pieces as well. So for the teeth, we need to always whiten the teeth a little bit. Now the easy way to do that is just to remove saturation from it. So let's again go to our adjustment layers, go to our vibrance one. There we go. And on the vibrance one, we're going to invert the mask again, because we want to paint over the teeth so that we know it's affecting the teeth. To help us, we're going to go to the vibrance. First redo it, select vibrance and draw it all the way to the left. There you go. And then we're going to invert the mask. So now everything we paint should have a lot of stuff removed from it. So let's go paintbrush, yes, white brush selected, mask is selected, perfect. So now we can just paint in the teeth, and that will now remove saturation from the teeth. Just like that. Perfect. Did go over the line a little bit. It's fine, it's not the end of the world. There we go. Cool. So now we can adjust this effect as well. Just rename this to teeth. Teeth. So I can find it in the future. Cool. So let's reset all of these ones and see what we want to adjust. Saturation down a little bit, vibrance down as well a little bit. Just keep a little bit of yellow in teeth because it looks natural, not removing everything at all. Perfect. Cool. Yeah, that should do just fine. And the next one we want to do is another adjustment for saturation to our lips, so that we can basically change them. But this time we're not going to do vibrancy. We're going to go to our adjustments and go to hue saturation. Now the reason we want to use hue saturation for the lips is we can not only adjust the saturation of the lips, we can also adjust the brightness of the lips using this adjustment layer. So the layer is now created. We want to rename to lips, so we know in the future if we want to come back and do an edit on it, we can easily find it, easily adjust it as well. So that one's now our lips one. So again, we're going to go to our saturation, pull it all the way to the top, which will affect every single thing on the photo. But we can now select a mask, invert the mask, and nothing is now being affected. Now the reason we want to do this is when we do paint, it makes it easy for us to see what we've added to the mask or what we've removed from the mask, so that we can correctly adjust them. So let's zoom in and make sure we've got a white brush selected, also that we've got the mask selected, and now we can just paint over the lips to make sure we select the lips properly. Masking is important. Yes, we did go over the line on the teeth a little bit, but we will remove that from the teeth just now. For now, we just want to make sure we grab as much of this as possible. I'm going to go as fast as possible as well. There we go. Perfect. And now we're just going to select a black brush again and just remove the bits we went over the line. There we go. Perfect. On this side as well a little bit. There we go. And at the top. There we go. That should mask it out nicely for us. Hey, Mr. Zulu, my dude. Hope you're doing quite well this evening. How was your day? Did you have some fun at work? How's your week going, my dude? Hope you're having a good one. My side, I skipped art class, so I'm going over the freaking lines everywhere, so I need to fix my mistakes so that everything looks nice and the way they're supposed to. There we go. That looks better. There you go. Cool. So now we've masked out the lips, meaning we can now control the way the lips look. So we can go back here, reset the saturation, and now because we've created a hue and saturation layer, this means we can now do some cool stuff. So let's move the picture so it's easier to see. There we go. So now we can darken the lips, we can brighten the lips, we can even change the color of the lips if we wanted to, because we've now masked them out correctly. So first things first, I want to increase the saturation a little bit. There we go. As well as I want to drop the brightness a little bit. like that. Perfect. It just makes them look a little bit more deeper, a little bit more red as well. We can always come back, because remember we did name this layer lips, so it's easy for us to find in future when we come back and we want to readjust and make changes to it as well. It's easy to find and make those changes. Perfect. So there we go. That's now adjusted our lips as well. Next we want to do the makeup on the eyes. So you can see that we did capture the details on the eyes, the makeup as well, so now we need to create a new layer for that as well. So again, instead of going with a vibrance layer like we did before, we're now going to go with a hue saturation layer instead, so that it gives us control over our brightness as well, because that's just a 2-in-1, just makes things a bit easier. So first things first, adjustment layer, a hue saturation layer. I'm going to call this one makeup. Makeup eyes, because that's where we want to get this effect to change. Now again, to make it easy for us to see the mask, we're going to take the saturation, move it all the way to the top, which is going to look horrible, but that's fine, because we're going to invert the mask now, meaning if we have a white brush selected, wherever we paint will now be easy to see, making it easy for us to mask out the makeup. So let's mask out the makeup on the eyes so we can make adjustments to them. So let's grab it on that side, move it all the way to this side as well. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Did go over the line a little bit. I will fix it just now. I want to grab this side as well. There we go. We'll fix my going over the lines issue just now. Never skip art classes, by the way, because they teach you how to do all this stuff in those. Yeah, that should be fine. Cool. So let's just fix my mistakes. There we go. Perfect. There we go. That's a little over the line there as well. There we go. And this side I did go over the line quite a bit. So let's fix those. There we go. Remove from the hair. There we go. And on the inside as well, we went over the line a little bit too far. There you go. Cool. So now that's created a mask for our makeup, which means we can now come back to our adjustment and we can now move the eye closer so it's easier for you to see while I do this edit. We can now basically increase the saturation on it to make that makeup pop. We can also now darken it down. Did Photoshop just crash? Yes, Photoshop just crashed. Yes, that is why we like using Adobe products, because they just randomly die on you. What the hell? Hi, how far back are we? Oh cool, Photoshop auto-saved for us all the way back to the lips, so all we're missing from the lips is basically just the eyes. So we can redo the makeup of the eyes. That's easy. Let's go to our adjustment layers again, select hue saturation, rename this to make up eyes. There we go. And then I just want to make a save of this, so file, save as, we're going to go desktop, new folder, stream, there we go, save it. Now just in case Photoshop decides to die again, then we at least have the file we can go back to and get all of our stuff, because that's quite annoying. It's busy saving. Done saving? Yes, done saving. Perfect. Okay, cool. So let's redo the eyes again, because apparently Photoshop dislikes it when we do the eyes. So first things first, make everything nice and bright. Select our mask, invert the mask. Make sure you've got a brush selected, make sure it's a white brush. Reduce that size, and let's do this fast. There you go, and invert. There we go, and do that other eye as well. go. Remove it from the inside. Remove it from the inside again, this side. There we go, but orange there. Perfect. Cool. There you go. So let's reset that saturation adjustment. There you go. And now we can increase the saturation till we get a nice glow on it. And we might just want to add with white brush just this little top part as well. There you go. So it looks nice and natural. There you go. Perfect. I like. Back to our adjustment. And now we can adjust the saturation to get it looking nice and drop the color on it. Oh, that one. Increase saturation. There you go. Perfect. Cool. So now also, because we've masked out the makeup, we can now go to our hue slider, which we can use to change the color on it. So we can make it pink, we can make it green, we can make it any color we want because we've now masked it out correctly. For now, we're going to keep it the original color. Perfect. Cool. So that's sorted that out for us. Now, since Photoshop likes to crash, we're going to just file, save. Make sure our changes get saved, because just in case it dies again, we can still at least, you know, not lose too much. Come on, save, save, save. Saving always takes long-ish. Done. Yes, done saving. Cool. Next we're going to do the eyes, specifically the inside of the eyes. So we're going to go to our adjustment layer again. We're going to go hue saturation, and we're going to make this really red so we can see where it's affecting stuff. We're going to invert the mask. Make sure we've got a brush and a white one selected, because that way we can paint on the eyes and make sure we get the insides of the eyes looking nice. There we go. Went over the line a little bit, and do it on this side as well with a white brush. There we go. Perfect. Cool. So now we can reset this again, and we can now adjust quite a lot of stuff. That's nice. Cool. We can also adjust the saturation. So what we can do is we can actually just increase the saturation a bit and take the brightness up by a very, very tiny amount, like literally a tiny, tiny, tiny amount. Oops, that's too much. There you go. 7 should be fine. Cool. There you go. So now we've got our eyes sorted. That's a bit too much. So the effect on the eyes is still a bit too much. So what we're going to do is we're going to rename this to eyes. Before I forget, rename it to eyes, and we're going to change the opacity to fine-tune the effect even more. So that's 100% on the eyes. You want to go back a little bit, just like that should be fine. Yes, that looks fine. Cool. There you go. Cool. There you go. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Next order of business will be the hair, I think, or the skin tones. Let's go any, mini, miny, mo. Let's do this. Let's do the hair. Yes, cool. For the hair, we want to also create the same layer, a hue saturation adjustment. So we're going to go to our adjustments, hue saturation adjustment. There you go. And we're going to rename this to hair, so we know what it's affecting. And then we want to just darken this down or lighten it up. Lighten it up should work just fine. Select our mask, Control I to invert the mask. Make sure we have a brush selected, which is white, which means wherever we paint, that effect will now take place. So let's mask out the hair nice and fast. Now the reason we want to also do the hair is just so we can control the highlights and things as such, and maybe just change the color of the hair for when we do go black and white. Just see if we can mask it out nicely, or as close as we can get to it at least, because hair is always a little bit more difficult. There's easier ways to do it. I just like doing it like this because it is fun for me. There we go. There we go. And just to remove the bits where I went over the line, because I will go over the line. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. So now we're affecting the hair, which is good because we want to affect the hair so we can make changes to it. There you go. Cool. So let's reset our changes. Hi hair. Now we can desaturate the hair, give it more of a grey look. We can increase the saturation on it. We can also change the color of the hair. Oh, we missed a spot. Let's add that spot to our brush. Zoom. There we go. Perfect. Just grab that as well. Perfect. There we go. Just grab these as well. There we go. And grab a couple down that side as well, because we want to grab as much of the hair as we can without going too overboard with our selection. That's a bit too much. Remove from there. There you go. Cool. So now we can change our hair and do some cool stuff to it. Let's zoom out. See, so we can now make the hair pink. We can change the hue slider and we can change the color of it. Make it blue. We can do anything we want with it because we've now masked out the hair, making it nice and easy to work with. So first things I want to do is just actually drop the brightness of the hair just a little bit. We will play around with the color in a bit, but for now that should do just fine. There we go. Cool. So let's group all of our stuff by selecting the layer, holding down shift to multiple select all of them, right click, new group, call it edits. There we go. Just make sure all of them move into the folder. There we go. Off and on. Perfect. So this is where we started with our adjustments, and this is where we're currently at. So it's small changes, but these changes will have an effect once we start to basically move this photo to a black and white, because that's having everything masked out and sorted out nice and easily on the side means that when we do go to black and white and we maybe don't like the darkness or brightness of a specific area on our subject, we can simply just select the mask and change it, making it nice and easy for our black and white stuff. Did it die? No, it didn't die, but we need to save again, I think. Photoshop, are you happy? Photoshop, save before it crashes again. Photoshop likes to do the crashy crash. Come on, are you saving, and saved. There you go. Cool. So that's saved all the cool stuff for us. Now, a lot of the times I like to make my subject pop off the background. There's a couple of ways you can do this. I like to create a vignette, but a custom one, not just a normal add a vignette. What I like to do is I like to grab the lasso tool, which allows us to make selections, and I'm going to create a selection around my subject like this, and on the other side as well like this. There we go. That's now our selection. With our selection made, we can go to our adjustment layers, add a brightness contrast layer, which means the new layer, we're going to call it vignette. I don't know how you spell that. There you go. So that's now our vignette layer. So that means if I drop the brightness on this, it will now have an effect, but that's affecting the wrong segment of our photo. So we're going to come back down, select a layer, Control I to invert the mask, and now you'll see everything outside our selection has now been masked out. But now the problem comes in, we've got this hard edge. So how do we remove this hard edge? Well, that's easy. We're going to select a mask, and at the top it's going to give us properties for the mask. Now notice what happens to this, which is more closer so you can see it easier, as soon as I touch the feathering on it. So the more that I feather it, the softer that edge is going to get. Ta-da! Nice, easy and fast. So we want to get that edge nice and soft like that, so it blends nice and easy. Zoom out to, let's just view fit to screen. There we go. The effect is a little bit too much, so we're going to readjust the brightness on it. But now that we've got our correct selection, we can now easily adjust the brightness on it and get it looking to a nice spot like that. There you go. Nice, easy and fast custom vignettes. We like to do them because they work. I like it. I like it very much. See, everything is still running. Yes, there you go. Perfect. So we're going to add the vignette to the edits folder. So we can switch it off, switch it back on again, so we can see all the changes take effect while we're busy. Now the next thing is we need to work on our skin tones. So for skin tones, you can do a bunch of things to smooth or soften or do all this weird fancy things that people like to do. I like to use a plugin from NBP Retouching Tools. Why? Because it just works easier. So what I'm going to do is, for the skin specifically, the skin smoothing, I'm going to go to SKN, which is the plugin from them. It should work just fine, and I do have a preset saved for Rosie. Just going to select that, click play, and let it do its thing. I might lag for 2 seconds while it's doing it. Come on, do your thing. And what this will now do is the SKN plugin will now find all the skin tones and apply an edit to them. Specifically the edit that I have saved for the subject that I'm working with for Rosie. I like to create presets for all the subjects that I work with, because if I work with them a lot, it allows me to just do things easier. So now what you'll see is this is now applied smoothing for us, which is perfect because that's what I wanted. Not much, we might want to just pull back the texture recovery a little bit. There we go. Also what SKN does is it has a toning option. So I like to use just a little brightening toning on the skin tones, because that just makes them pop a little bit better. Click play again, and we'll do all the cool stuff for us. It just saves a whole bunch of time, because we've been editing on this photo for almost an hour now already. So that's a lot. So there we go. Cool. And that's basically done all of that for us. Now what you'll see is what toning is done, where it basically just brightens up the subject for us, as well as the skin retouching has been done to the point where it just has a subtle smoothing effect on the skin tones, as well as it just allows things to look a little bit more cleaner. Not plastic, because I don't like plastic, but just more natural and more clean, which is what I like to do. So there you go. That's all. Clean. I like very much. There you go. So this photo is almost ready to go black and white. So let's move all of our edits into our edit folder, because this way we can switch it off, see where we started, switch it on, see where we currently are. Now, why am I doing all this for black and white editing, you might ask? Well, it's easy, because for me to get a good result in black and white, I need a good result in color first. Because as soon as you start to convert to black and white, if you have mismatched skin tones as an example, you will see it very fast when you do black and white conversion. So just making sure that I have a nice natural looking photo before I go to black and white allows me to basically skip a whole bunch of weird adjustment stuff as soon as you do go to black and white. So there we go. That's basically done everything that I wanted to do on the photo in regards to adjustments. So let's switch all of them off and we'll go through them one by one. There you go. And we're going to go view, fit to screen. There we go. I'm going to move this that way so it's easier to see. Like that. Cool. So zoom in. There you go. Pants, check. There you go. Let's just fit this back to screen again. Just looks easier. So first thing we did with our edit when we started was we worked on the pants, because we wanted more brightness on the pants. Then we wanted the top as well, a bit more brightness on the top, as well as saturation on the top. We wanted those blues to be just a little bit deeper as well. From there we worked on the accessories. As an example, the little pendant. Perfect. Then we worked on the teeth. Very small change, but it has an awesome effect. Then we worked on the lips. From the lips we went on to work on the makeup on the eyes, and from that we worked on the eyes themselves. Perfect. Then we worked on the hair. There we go. Just darken down the hair a little bit. Perfect. And then once we've now done all of that, we've then gone and added our vignette, just to make the subject pop a little bit. Then we used SKN from NBP to basically smooth the skin for us a little bit, as well as just brighten the skin for us a little bit. So now we're at the point where once we go black and white, things should now start to fit together much better. As an example, let's add a black and white adjustment. So we can go to our adjustments, go just black and white. There you go. So that's just the standard black and white edit on it, which is fine. But I don't like fine, I like better. Cool. So how do we make it better? Well, you see, black and white's got a whole bunch of cool stuff. Let's move this over so I can show you. Zoom in. So on your black and white edit, someone's dog, on your black and white filter, you also have presets. So what these presets do is they apply different color filters to your black and white. Not a recolor, but colored filters. In black and white photography, if you normally use a red filter as an example, it will make your reds very dark. Or yellow filter will do a whole bunch of other stuff to it. So you can change these filters. An example, I can go blue, which will have an effect on my photo. I can also go darker, which will have a different effect. Or I can go a green filter, which will then have also a different effect. And all of these different effects have different outcomes on your entire photo. So as I'm going through them, you can see that, the red one is, no, that looks weird. Let's move that back, yes. And we're going to go this infrared one as well, and all these different filters will have different effects on different parts of your image. Now, this is why it was so important that we mask out different things. As an example, if we like what our maximum white filter does, we might need to readjust the lips, because now the lips are blending in a bit too much. But because we masked out our lips in a specific edit itself, we can go to that edit. We can now move this further up so it's easier for you to see. Then we can now adjust the brightness on the lips. Oops, that is not doing anything at all. Why is that not doing? Oh, it's because this freaking black and white thing is overwriting everything. I hate black and white edits, just normal ones. I like to mask things out better. So let's do it like that. We're going to take our black and white, we're going to move it down to where our lips are. Now, because we've created a mask for our lips, we can hold down Alt, move to the black and white, and replace the layer, and that black and white will now just affect the lips, which is cool, because that will give us some really cool stuff. So, let's just delete that, rearrange these ones as well, and move these ones down, there we go, so that all of our changes are still present as well. Perfect. So let's retry that again. We're going to go Adjustments, black and white, black and white. Now if you go to lips, we should now be able to adjust the brightness of the lips independently. There you go. Perfect. So that's why we masked them out. So let's just reset that back to its +9. Thank you. There we go. Yes. So this is why we created all of these masks, because we can now create our black and white adjustment layer, which will then make everything black and white. Just move to the top. But now, let's say we want the hair darker. We can go to our hair layer. We can go to the brightness on the hair, and we can darken or lighten it. And this way we can basically control all the different ways that the black and white contrast or toning on the black and white works. So as an example, the top might be a bit too bright for this specific black and white filter. Not a problem, we do have a layer for the top. There you go, and we can darken it down. See? Because we've taken the time to create all of these different masks, we can now basically affect specific things on our edit specifically. So what I like to do is, for my black and white, I like to find a preset at the top that complements my skin tones, and then I use the layers to readjust it back again. So let's do it like that. First we're going to go through our presets and find one that works for our skin tones. And the darker one looks better. Green's a little bit too bright. High contrast, black, nope, high contrast. Ew, holy hell, that one's a bit over the top. That one's more or less fine. White's a bit too much as well. Actually, that one looks horrible. Red, no. Yellow, nah. Okay, so we're gonna have to go with the darker one, I think. Yes, this one. There you go. So this one gives the skin tones a nice overall look and feel to them. But now the rest of the things we now need to adjust so they fit into this as well. As an example, the lips are a little bit, they blend a little bit too much, so I would like to basically darken them down a little bit. So to do this, we're going to go to the right hand side, select our lips adjustment layer, go to the top, which is more the picture here so you can see, go to the top, and we can now darken the lips just like that. Perfect. A little bit more, and you can see even if we change the saturation, it will also change the tone of the black and white. So we're going to darken it down a little bit more. There you go. And now we're going to use the saturation slider to either saturation to either darken it down more or add a little bit of light to it, so we can just make the lips tone look a bit better. We can also now change the hue in black and white, which will also affect the way the lips look. For now, we want to do it like this, because that fits better. See, nice and easy. Next adjustment we want to do is the makeup on the eyes. So we're going to go down to our layers, select the makeups on the eyes one, go to the top, and we can now darken the makeup or lighten it up. And we can do all this nice little fine tunings on our black and white conversion. So first things first, I want to darken them down a little bit, but not too much. So we're going to go darken down, all the way down, and we're going to use the saturation slider to retone them and make them a little bit lighter. There we go. Just like that should be fine. Perfect. There we go. So that's darkened it down slightly for us to the point where the lips and the makeup on the eyes match better. Now the next one I want to adjust also is the inside of the eyes. So we're going to select our eyes, go to the top, and now we have a lot more control over the way the black and white affects the eyes. So we want to increase the brightness a little bit and readjust the saturation on it to get small changes on it, maybe a little bit more. There you go, perfect, I like that. There you go, cool. So now that fits in much better as well. The hair is another one that I want to adjust, so we're going to select our hair layer, and now we can also fine-tune the way the hair looks. So I want to brighten the hair a little bit. Ooh, that's too much. A little bit, and use saturation to just darken it down a little bit again. Like that should be fine. A little bit more though. It's always a give and a take. There you go. That should be fine. Just a little darker. Not much. Just a little bit, because we liked a little bit. There you go. Perfect. So the next is we also want to just work on the pants. So we're going to come down to our adjustment layers, select the pants one, and now we can adjust the pants to get different look and feel from them as well. So what I want to do is first reset it completely, drop the contrast on it, and then raise the brightness slightly. Just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, like that. Yes, because it gives us a nice toned details for our black and white. I like that. Next we want to come to the shirt, or the top in this case. I'm going to select the top adjustment layer, and now we can adjust this as well. Make it dark, no, and remove the contrast. So first we want to make it a little bit more contrasty to get a nice dark feel to it, and then we can adjust the brightness overall on it. Like that should be fine. There we go, perfect. I like. Next I want to work on the jewelry as well. So we're going to go and select the accessories one, which is our jewelry, and now we can make this jewelry either very dark or very bright. So I'm leaning towards bright, so let's make it bright and remove some contrast from it to make it a little bit more brighter. There we go. So that should make it pop nice and easy. There you go, a nice little bit of a pop. The teeth look fine in this specific black and white conversion. So there we go. I think that should be our conversion. There you go. So that is our black and white conversion for us. Now, this is where things get fun. Let's move the black and white out of the edits one. There you go. So that's a black and white. Now if we remove all the specific editing that we do to this black and white, you'll see that the photo looks like this. Then we add them back on, and we just get more tone for our black and whites, and things just look much better, much cleaner as well, and they just make the subject pop more, and that is for me very important. So now we get to the fun part, which is our dodging and burning to either boost our highlights a little bit or boost our shadows a little bit, which is cool because we also want to tone those. So let's add, now the black and white can stay right there. So the way I like to do my dodging and burnings, I like to add a new layer. This one right there, that little button right there. We'll just add a layer to us. We can call this one highlights. And we're gonna basically use a white brush and paint in highlights. So as an example, it will do all the weird stuff for us, but we're going to change the blend mode on this. So we're going to come down to our highlights layer, change the blend mode, and it's got a whole bunch of different options to it. And what you'll see is, let me move this down, apologies, down a little bit, so you can see how these different blend modes affect the way that this highlights or white brush will affect the photo basically. So you can go through all of them, find one that works for you. I like the soft light one myself because it just gives it that a slight adjustment. There you go. Perfect. So now I just want to remove all the stuff that we've done. So let me just grab a eraser, remove them. Bye bye. There we go. And now all I want to do with my dodging and burning is basically grab a white brush, make sure it's white, and paint in on my highlights so that I can adjust them. So I'm going to grab the hair, the face looks very bright already, and just grab that side of the arm where the light's coming from, and just grab it on that side of the chest a little bit, and just grab it on that side as well a little bit. There we go. Perfect. And now that's looking weird, but we can now adjust it. I missed a spot. There we go. Cool. But now the trick comes in that we can now control this effect really nicely, because we can go to our highlights layer while it's selected. Let's move this over so it's easy for you to see, and we can adjust the opacity, and the opacity will basically tell it how much or how little is being affected. So we want a small highlight change like that. Perfect. Off, on. And that is odd dodging, making things brighter. I was just going to grab the hair at the top there. Just grab it there as well. There you go. Perfect. I like. Ah, what the hell did I click? View, fit to screen. There we go. Cool, cool. There you go. So that's our highlights. Next, we want to add, again, a new layer. Rename it to shadows. There you go. But this time, instead of using a white brush, we're going to use a black brush, which will then allow us to basically work on the shadows and darker things on the photo itself. So as an example, let's grab the neck area, make it dark. There we go, because this will allow us to easily see when we change our blend mode to which one works better for us. So we can just go through them all. Lighten doesn't look good. Let's see, screen, nope. Dark colors, nope. Overlay, nope. Soft light again just works better for this, or for what I like to do at least. So let's select soft light again as our blending mode. That darkness is a little bit too dark, but we'll sort that out now. First, select the eraser, remove everything that we've added on. We need to save, file, save, before Photoshop crashes again, because it just freaking does it. It's so freaking annoying. Come on, save. Cool. So while it's saving, let's reposition this to the center. Come on, 99% saved. Come on, so close. Hate when it takes this long to save. It's gonna die. See a little blue bar behind my head? That's the saving progress thing. Please save. because we've done a lot of work. I don't want to lose the work. I mean, yeah, we're basically at the 1 hour mark now. So, how's your... Hey, it's saved! Haha! Nice. That means I can take a sip of water. Now, when it comes to dodging and burning, what we want to do is we want to use a black brush and find the shadows we want to darken down a little bit. So we're going to start on this side, brush, darken down that side. There we go. And I want to get up shadows on this arm as well. There you go. And the neck one as well. We'll readjust this as needed. There we go. There we go. And we'll just adjust the opacity to compensate correctly for this. Oh, I went over the line. Where's my erase tool? Go away. There we go. That looks weird. What was it? The erase brush needs softness. There you go. There you go. Cool. So now we're going to adjust the opacity by selecting the layer, and we now have the opacity slider, which should then allow us to drop this effect and just make it a little bit more pronounced, just like that. Not much, just a little bit, just a little bit. I like, that looks good. Yes, that looks fine. There you go. So that's a shadow adjustment. Just tone the shadows down a little bit. I think the neck one is a little bit too dark, so we need to come in and erase the one on the neck. So we're going to select our erase tool, just remove it on the neck. There we go. Just like that should be fine. There we go. Yes. That's better. Cool, cool. There we go. Cool. And we've got our highlights as well. The highlights on the hair look a little bit funky. I need to get out a white brush and just extend the one on the hair so it looks better. Yes. So let's move it down a little bit. Ah, I missed a spot there in the center. Go away. There we go. There you go. Now it should blend better. There you go. That looks better. For the highlights, I went over the line a little bit there. Let's just fix that. There we go. Yeah, that looks fine. So there you go. That's one photo edited in 1 hour's time. Yeah, it takes long. It takes a bit of time, doesn't it? But let's go through the edit itself. So I'm going to move the black and white layer to the top. There you go. That's the shadows, highlights and stuff. We're going to drag those into our edit little folder thing as well. And we'll start from the start. So let's switch off, switch off, switch off. So this is our original file. From here we did a small bit of cleaning up on the background itself. Okay, that noticeable. Let's just view fit to screen. There you go. And then once, we need to actually switch all of these off. Blip, 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 blip. Dang, we did a lot of stuff. There we go. Cool. So after correcting all that stuff, we now needed to bring in some light onto the pants, like that. Then we needed to do the top as well, the accessories, the teeth for correcting the teeth, the lips for correcting the saturation, the makeup on the eyes themselves, the hair, the vignette, highlights, shadows, toning of the skin tones, smoothing of the skin tones. It looks weird, doesn't it, when it's in color, but the magic is black and white button. Ooh, scary. But now we can compare what you normally get. This is your normal output on your black and white conversion when you just add the black and white button and it just gives you a black and white photo. But no, we like to do the work. We like to tone it, we like to sculpt it, we like to get what we have in mind into the photo so that it looks proper and it doesn't just look all press a button. No, we like to take our time to do this. So let's go through the black and white edits, how they look in black and white. So in black and white, without the color this time, it should be easier to see. We're going to go pants first, which will add a bit of color, or not color, brightness to our pants. Then we have a top as well, brightness, and a little bit of tuning in that regard. We've got our accessories as well, just make them bright a little bit. We've got our teeth, our lips, our makeup, our eyes themselves, our hair, and then our vignette to make our subject pop. We've got our toning for the skin, and then we've got our highlights, and we've got our shadows. Nice, easy and sorted. And that, ladies and gents, is how I like to edit my black and whites. It's just easier. So we need to export this for social media still. Apologies. So export for social media is easy. We'll go File, Export, Export As. In the little window it pops up, High window. We want to export this high JPEG quality. And we want to find the largest number so we can resize it. We want to resize it to 048 because that gives us the correct size for social media like Facebook, Instagram, blah blah blah. They're all like this size for some reason. Now another thing I like to do, especially because this is a black and white one, is I just want to untick the color space tick boxes because it doesn't have color in it. I don't want it to do anything weird on it. There you go. That's all we do. We go export. It's going to ask us where to save. We're going to go desktop, stream, it's a stream folder, stream, and save. There we go. And that is all she wrote. In regards, oh, I'm not in focus. There we go. I'm in focus. Nice. Cool. So I hope you guys learned a thing or two. We've spent an hour on a photo just to edit and play around with it a little bit and such. Hopefully that's helped you guys see one or two cool little things that might help you improve your own work. And I need to post this to Facebook, so let's open up browser. This one. There we go. Hi browser. I'm going to go to my own page. There we go. Go like this. Hi own page. And hey, there's me going live. That's nice. Just want to see which was the last day we did, which was a day, I think it was 57. So we're now at 58. So let's create a post. So we can post the thing we've just created. Yay. Select the photo, stream, select it. There we go. Hi photo. Day 58/100. Live stream editing. Hello, stream. Hello, stream. There you go. Perfect. And we say post. Bloop. Nice. There you go. Yeah. So we've exported, posted, and you guys were part of the posting process as well, which was quite fun. But thank you very much for joining. If you have any questions, I will stick around for a few more minutes before I go make a coffee and do the stuff. So if you do have questions, let me know down below. I'm gonna go to the SA photography page and check my moderation duties while let's see. Oh, that's 3 people that want to do the thing on the page. What the hell is this guy trying to do? Scammers. You gotta love scammers. So many of them. Would you guys like to see how I moderate the SA photography page? It's quite fun actually. It's quite fun. Yeah, hell. Evening sir, I need your help if possible. I have a client who needs to do a photo shoot with. Oh, maybe you guys can join me for giving somebody advice. I see I got an inbox from somebody that needs a bit of help. So let me go to my own inbox. And this person might not know it, but they will now receive live. Evening sir, I need your help if possible. I have a client who needs to do a photo shoot weekend and is asking me for this kind of shots. So I'm not sure if it is done during the shoot, during post-production. Any suggestions? I need to hide the rest of my chat on my screen because I do work for a lot of companies. So let's swap over so I can show you what he's asked me. Then you guys can help me give him some advice. Can we open those photos? Oh, that's so tiny. So tiny. Cool. Okay, so let's swap over to my screen. So this person requires some assistance. So they want, or they have a client who is looking for a very specific type of shadow effect that I can see from his photos. Zoom in. There you go. See, so that looks interesting. Let's close it, check the other one as well. Yes, so this is done in post, especially if I have a look at that one. Yes, the hardness of the shadow and the way the fall off works, that looks like it was edited and not actually done using a projector head. So you can get this type of effect when you use a projector head like the Godox, I think it's a SA17. Let's go to camera stuff and I'll show you quickly. Camera stuff. There we go. Oh, I should actually link the stream for the dude, so that he can join it, so we can give him some advice. So let me get up the link for the stream so I can send it to him, and then he can share, copy link. There we go. I'm going to go going to answer this one for you. Get alive, man. Once you join the video, proper look, there you go, cool. So we'll get them to join the session, and then once they do join the session, we can just basically help them get it sorted out, so I can show them what they would require and things as such. So let's wait for him to join up, then we can give him some nice little answers and get him sorted with his specific client. He said okay, so he's going to join the video now, and then we can help give him some advice specific to what he requires. So let's wait for him to pop a little chat thingy so we can see, because that way we know he's here. When is live stream? Oh, right now, dude, right now. There you go, cool, right now. Hey, I think he joined. I see a new viewer popped in as well. Hey, hello. Is this Faba by any chance that has joined the stream? Pop a hello down below so I know it's you, so I can give you some advice specific in regard to the client that has a very fun request for you. Then we should be able to get you sorted out as well. Okay, so Mr. Faba has asked the following for us. Evening, sir. I need your help if possible. I have a client who needs to do a photo shoot this weekend, I believe, a very specific one, and is asking me for this kind of shots. I do have the shots below. I'll show them to you as well, and I'm not sure if it's done during shoot or during post-production. So, well, let's have a look at it. I think he's joined the live. Yes, he's joined the live session. Yes, awesome. Okay, my dude. So if I have a look at these photos, there's two ways that you can achieve this specific result. You can edit to get this result, or you can use a very specific modifier for light to get the same results. So, oh, my camera battery died, that's fine. So to get this result specifically in camera, you're going to need a device called a projector. So you get one from Godox, which is the Godox SA17, I believe. 17, yes, SA17. There we go. So the Godox SA17 is a device that fits on to your speedlight, well, not speedlight, onto your strobe or a SL2 bracket or something as such, and this allows you to basically get that very focused beam of light. So if you have a look at the modifier, the SA17 itself, this is a modifier that goes on and will give you this type of thing. It does require a few bits to work. As an example, the SA17 modifier itself requires a focusing lens as well, attachment, and all of these little bits at the bottom, which will then allow you to get these types of circle results and things as such from your equipment. Keep in mind that, let's just close this. There you go, yes. So keep in mind that this also has an element of editing on it. You see this 21 with heart, that is very, very, very sharp. That is not done using this equipment. That is done with editing. So I believe the photos that you've sent were actually all done with editing and not actually done in camera, simply due to the fact that the way the shadows look on them as well. So I believe this was done in editing. Now, how do they do that in editing? Well, let's see if I can mimic that on this photo that we're working with. So first we're going to select a circle spot. That is a bad selection. Then I'm going to go brightness, and I'm going to go blue. Oh, we want bright. There you go, bright. I'm gonna favor that, select it, favor it, favor, there we go. And then we need to mask out our subject. So we're gonna select our subject and mask them out and put them in front of that, which will then allow us to get that selection. So brightness, bloop, there we go, move this to the top again, so we can grab this mask and no, Control Z. I hate Photoshop sometimes, yes. But anyway, so we need to remove our subject from this. There we go. And then we can basically bloop, make a little spot in the background, like that. So we can do it in editing as well. It just takes a bit more time to finesse the edit to get that specific effect that they want for the photo session, but it does take a bit of practice to get it done correctly and properly. I recommend you speak with Mr. JB Roman, because he does do these types of edits. Maybe you can pay him some bucks, or he can teach you how to do it himself. Let me pull up his socials for you. JB Roman. There you go. JB Roman. You go, open JB Roman's profile. Bloop, bloop. This is JB Roman. He is the dude that does some really awesome composites and edits and things, and he should be able to show you exactly in Facebook or Facebook in Photoshop how to get these types of effects, because he has done those himself. And I know for a fact he does this with editing and not with the physical gear itself. So you can look at his work for inspiration. You can reach out to him as well and ask for some help. He should be willing to help you, I believe. But if you want the physical gear to do this with, you'll be looking at the Godox SA17 with the attachments. The attachments are important because these attachments will help you to basically get everything sorted that you require, specifically in regards to getting your light mounted to it, as well as modifying that light to get that nice little projector head flash specific one. And this is the gear you would require to buy to do this. So yes, you can do this with editing as well as you can do this with gear. I would recommend going the editing route because it's much cheaper, much more friendly to your budget as well, and it should just be an easy edit. I don't do it myself, so I kind of suck with that. I've got no idea how to do that properly. Let me just remove that. But I do know that JB Roman, he is the dude to talk to, because he does a lot of these special types of composites with really cool backgrounds and things as such. So he should be the dude to talk to get that looking nice and perfect for you. There you go. See, I knew he did one. I freaking knew it. There's the one he did. Looks awesome, and he did all of this with editing. So you could do it with editing like this, or you could buy this little attachment for your light, which will give you the same result with a bit more work, but you still need to do a bit of editing to just get it looking properly and correct. So I hope that helps, my dude. That is the only two ways that I know of how to get those results myself. I unfortunately have no idea how to do that in editing perfectly, because I don't do these types of edits. I just have the gear, but I don't really use that effect myself that much. But yes, that would be the correct way of dealing with those specific types of edits. Learn the editing style and get it sorted, and it should save you a heap of money and time as well. So yes, that should sort that out as well, I believe. Thank you, my dude, for joining up. It just makes it easier to talk and explain things to you via voice or video like this, because it's just much more fun and easy. But yes, there you go. So that concludes our session for the evening. We managed to help Mr. Fawa as well for a few minutes, and we managed to edit this little photo in about an hour's worth of time, which is actually not that bad. It's quite a nice little fast edit, but it turned out quite nice. I like this photo. I will export a higher resolution version, of course, and maybe print it for my wall, because I like having things on my wall. It's nice, it's very nice. But yes, thank you very much, peoples, for assisting me. Thank you so much. I will look into and see how I can tackle it. Awesome. Fawa, dude, my personal recommendation is take the time to study how to do this. Speak with JB, he can maybe give you some pointers as well, specifically in this regard to editing it, because editing will save you a heap of money. Buying the gear is one thing, but buying the gear and studying how to use the gear properly is a completely different thing as well. So I would personally recommend go the editing route for that specific effect that your client wants, because it will save you a lot of time and a lot of money. And then as you progress in your career and you get to a point where you get more and more of these types of requests, hey, Mr. Roman, thank you, Mr. Roman, my dude. Faba above you in chat requires to do the editing stuff that you like to do, specifically this one. He is interested in this because he's got a client in that specific regard. If you could reach out to each other, communicate, see if you can help each other out as well, because remember, we are a community and we like to help each other wherever we can. But yes, Faba dude, I would definitely recommend the editing route, because buying the gear and using the gear takes a lot of practice to get it correct. And you don't want to practice when you're working with a client. You want to be able to sit with a client and say, late, but I'm here, at least can watch it later again. Yes, Mr. Roman, my dude, we did some cool stuff. Let me show you what we did. Let's just switch off all of our editing. There we go. We started with this, we went to black and white, we turned the black and white. See, nice and easy. But back to Faba. Take the time to practice the editing part of it, because the editing part is cool because it doesn't require you to spend money. You just need to spend time. Spending time and perfecting an edit like this could make you a lot of money, especially because a lot of people have started to ask more and more for these specific types of edits. As an example, like the ones that JB has done himself. These are awesome edits, and he has perfected the skill of getting these edits done. Not me. I've got no idea how the hell to do this. I do have a slight idea, but I don't do it myself. But editing is the way to go. Try not to waste money on buying gear you do not need, especially if it's a very specialized tool like the Godox SA17. It is an awesome tool for creating work for clients, but it is also a tool that demands that you take the time to study how to use it properly. So when it comes to your client that wants to do something like that over a weekend, which might be very time sensitive, take the time to edit. Best decision you can ever make. In the future, when you do have money for your business, which is not needed, meaning you've got spending money, then you start looking at things like the SA17 or other bits of kit that could help you provide more value to your clients. Specifically, if you do get stuck and you have no idea what to buy next or something as such, reach out. I myself will help you, or anybody else which is a professional that hopefully also helps will be able to help you. But don't throw away money trying to chase a single client that wants to do one thing only once, because you're going to spend money to buy the gear, as an example, and never use it again, which is money lost. Instead, just take time to practice with the editing. It just saves you money, saves you time. And we like saving both, because I don't know, it's good. Oh, Jay, dude, Roman, my dude, check my unicorn. It's fluffy. Oh, I like it. But anyway, thank you everybody for joining. I shall now go grab myself a Wacky Wednesday, because I like food, plus I need to really appreciate it. Yes, Mr. John B. Roman, you know how to do the weird editings and stuff. I've got no idea. I couldn't be bothered. I just do the retouching. It's much easier. But yes, I shall now go grab a Wacky Wednesday for myself. Yes, Mr. Fabo, my dude, remember, we're a community. If you get stuck, reach out. I might take a bit longer to reply sometimes, because I've got like hundreds of inboxes at the moment that I still want to get back to. So I might take a bit of time to get back to you, but it should be quite fast. But if you do get stuck, just reach out and we can help each other wherever we need to be. If you need something specific, I can also hook you up with people at the different suppliers for camera gear and things as such as well, because we like giving back to our community, and we're all one big old community in photography, especially in South Africa, so we should support and help each other wherever we can, because it just grows us, makes all the cool stuff we do so much better. Anyway, have a good one. I'm gonna go grab some food and charge my one dead battery because my Nikon's battery died halfway through, so that's always fun. I forgot to charge my stuff. Sucks. Anyway, have a good one, peoples. Keep well, keep safe. Have an awesome weekend, and I will see you most likely tomorrow, or yeah, it should be tomorrow evening again for another live session where we will be taking some random photos and stuff, and it should be quite fun. But yes, keep well, keep safe, and I shall catch you guys soon again. I click the button. Bye.